are in listen-only mode.
Okay, everyone, it's Brian Sachs, and want to welcome you. Want to make sure that everybody can hear me, so if you could just type in the box that you can or you can't. I try to be punctual, so I'm sorry for being a minute or two late here, but if you could just type in Patricia, welcome. Who else? Can you all hear me? Not hear me? Okay. So Mark, welcome. Brad, welcome. Can you all hear me? And I think Robert's on. Robert, you got anything you want to share with everyone?
Just want to say hello.
Okay, well, super. So let's get into it because what we're going to cover today is really very, very important. And I'm going to share with you all a lesson that you really will probably hear very, very few people ever talk about. So let's jump right in. If you could, just tell me why you make a sale. See, there are real reasons to make a sale, and then there are reasons you think are the reasons to make the sale. And I know we have a pretty sharp group, so I want to see what you all think. What is the reason you make a sale? So if you could type it in the box, I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're typing, I have not gone crazy. Although, Robert, you disagree with that, don't you?
Sometimes.
There you go. So we've got several different answers coming in here, but most people are making a sale to generate income for their business. The real reason to make a sale, and this will explain, and I hope you all have a pen and paper out, this will explain why so many businesses lose money with Groupon and Living Social, and the lesson for you to learn from it, and the lessons that not only can you learn, but the lessons that you can now impart to others for this. And it's a really, really big lesson. Most people are making a sale just to keep the lights on. And so if they're doing a Living Social deal or they're doing a Groupon deal, so they have to now discount their product. Typically it's 50%. And Groupon is taking another 50%. So on a dollar, they are making now a quarter, if my math is correct, a quarter to 50 cents. Now that doesn't take into account what their costs are. And so you need to start thinking a little bit differently, and what I'm sharing with everyone today is a little bit advanced, and that's why we have these Hangouts, and that's exactly why these Hangouts are sort of pitch-free zones. There's no pitching going on here. So, we met with a company not long ago, and this person had an auto repair facility, and they were doing a Groupon, and told me that Groupon almost bankrupted them because they were offering an oil change that cost them $13 for 10 for $9.99. Groupon was taking 50% of that, and they sold 1,000 of them. So a recipe for going out of business very quickly is doing a large volume of business at a loss. So here's what I want to tell you. The huge secret that changes your business, and it really will, it'll change your business and it will change your income, is to learn to make a sale only to get a customer. Businesses spend so much money getting a customer, and they do not upsell them, they do not stay in touch with them, they do not ask for referrals, they do not ask them to come back. Many of the companies that we've worked with don't even know who the customer that came in was. And so there's no way to follow up with them. But when we're talking about offline consulting, I don't want you to necessarily take the advice of many of the other people who are giving you advice, which is to offer products for free. That's, maybe that's okay in a candy store, but it's not okay in our business, because what it does is it psychologically devalues you and makes you look like a beggar in the eyes of your customer. So we're going to go a little deeper here, but the huge secret that changes your business and your income is making a sale to get a customer, not making a sale to generate income. So how does it change everything for you? That's probably the question that's going on in your heads right now. Here's how. Number one, you need to know the lifetime value of your customer. And what that simply means is, what is that person likely to spend with you over their life of time? So for example, if you're on a membership site, the industry statistic for a membership site is that a customer will stay on that membership site typically as a paying member for 3 to 6 months. And so you know that. You know if you go on the low side, it's 3 months. If you have a client and you have recurring revenue from that client, what's most likely for them to happen? And Robert and I have retained, I think we lost 2 clients over the last 12 months. Is that right, Robert?
That sounds about right.
Two or three maybe. I mean, just to be fair, we've lost 2 or 3 of all our clients. We've only lost 2 or 3. So we have a very good idea that if we put someone on and we're charging them $50 a month for something, how long they'll stay, or what they're likely to stay if we're charging them $297 or $397. We all have different products and different price points. You need to always think about, and I had a great one-on-one with one of our members yesterday, and she had lots and lots of breakthroughs, and she talked about it a little bit in the Facebook group. But it was really, I mean, that's what really gets me all jazzed up. I enjoy and love actually helping people break through. And she had a lot of people paying her, well, not a lot, but I think she had maybe around 7, 8, maybe even 9 or 10 people paying her $397 a month. But that's it. She was not asking them for referrals. She was not asking them for upsells, and wondering why her business was kind of stuck. So once you get that customer in, that's the real reason to make the sale. The real reason to make the sale is to bring that customer in and continue to sell them programs and products. You will see that here. Robert and I are working very extensively on building a funnel for local client formula, where you may come in with one product, either a free product or a product that we sell for $17 or a product that we sell for $97, and slowly work your way up to our funnel. You also, number 3 is really important. You now know what a customer is worth, and more importantly, what you can spend to acquire one. How can you decide what avenue you're going to use to market your business? Are you going to be can you afford to be sending mail? Can you afford to be hiring a telemarketer? Can you afford, any of the things that you're thinking of affording? Well, the way you know that is if you know the value of the customer and how long they're going to stay. And let me sort of explain that a little bit better. What I'm suggesting to you is this. If I know that a customer is likely to stay with me for a year, and I'm charging them $50, Brad says, are your slides supposed to be changing, or are we just talking through this? Well, the slides should be changing. They're changing on my screen. I'm not sure if they're not changing on yours, but it doesn't matter, because really this is much more, there's nothing to see. You're not missing anything. We are just talking through it. So you should see a slide here that says, how does this change it? Robert, are you seeing that slide?
I am not seeing that slide. I am seeing the intro slide. This says Hangout with Brian and Robert.
Let me show my screen.
There we go. That's better.
Okay, so you want to write this down. How does this change it? Knowing the lifetime value of the customers we discussed, offering upsells and getting referrals, but number 3 again is the most critical. Thanks, Brad, by the way. Knowing what a customer is worth, and more importantly, what you can spend. So here's what I'm saying. If Robert and I are putting on a client for $497 for a mobile website, and I'm just going to say $20 a month for maintenance, hosting, and updates, okay? So what do we have? We have $497, let's just round it up to $500, and then we have $20 a month for 12 months. We know they're going to stay on for at least a year. That's been our history. So what can we spend to acquire a client? We could now put on a client and spend $740, okay, $500 plus $240. We could spend $740 to put on a client and still break even without losing any money. Now, we wouldn't have a profit, but we wouldn't be losing money. And so now, knowing that, if I send out a direct mail campaign and I spend $740 on a direct mail campaign and get very fancy and use trash cans and, you know, all sorts of FedEx and everything else, well, if I put on one client, I know I've broken even. Is that making sense to everybody? If you could just type yes or no in the box. Okay. So anybody else, is this making sense? Because if not, I'm happy to, you know, talk about it a little bit deeper. So your goal, so everybody says yes, so great. So your goal here then is to, and you ready for this? I hope you're all sitting down. If you're driving, pull over. Your goal here is to be able to spend more than your competition. Because if you're able to spend more than your competition, you will do more business. So I hope that sort of tied it all together for you, okay? You need to really write this down and think about it, and I'll open it up for questions in a second. But, you know, once you know what you can spend, it's off to the races, and you're able to really, really change the game. I do want to make a big announcement. It's not a pitch, but the InstantSalesArmy.com is launching today. And I wanted to also show you guys kind of, you know, what the site looks like, the members area. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that or not, but let's see. So this is the members area for the local, for the Instant Sales Army. And this is really a way to get people working for you. If you don't like selling, this is something you might want to think about. Well, actually, this isn't working. So, oh, here we go. So what we've got in here is you have the Instant Sales Army manual, and I've identified in there 9 ways for you to hire your own, you know, Instant Sales Army. And by the way, if you like selling, great. Having these people introduce you is worth a lot, because how you get to someone as a warm setup or a cold setup matters. And then Robert's written a really great manual, which is an unannounced bonus, the easy way to build a sales army. And then we have another unannounced bonus, which is a tip book. And then here we have, if you take the implementers program, you'll have, and Robert's going to be changing the look of this area, right, Robert?
What was that? I'm sorry?
I said you're supposed to be changing the look of this area?
Yes. Yes. We've.
So here are some of the tools to give to your Army, and here are the actual agreements. You know, the beautiful thing about this, by the way, is this is what we use in our own business. So there's nothing in here, you know, that is guesswork. It's exactly what we use. These are all fast implementer tools right here, but then we got 2 or 3 unannounced bonuses in there. And then you can schedule an appointment with Robert and I, and Robert's going to be fixing this form to let you decide whether you want to speak to Robert or myself. Robert is an expert, for those of you who may not know, in managing the technicals of our business and also managing the team. So I just want to let you know that's live, and the reason I wanted you to know that, honestly, is because we're promoting it now to about 50, almost 50 different affiliates, and the price will be going up with each sale. And because you're a loyal member, I don't want any of you to miss out on that. And so here are the slides if you missed it, why you make a sale. Here are those 3 reasons, and actually you should write this down. Make a sale to get a customer. Those are the 3 reasons right there. And as always, I'd like to open it up to any questions anyone has. This is InstantSalesArmy.com. If any of you are interested in investing, or if you already invested in the program and want to get the implementers program, just go into the members area and you'll be able to do that. So I'm going to be looking at the box here. Does anyone have any questions? First of all, did everybody understand this and did everybody have a good takeaway and learn something they didn't know and are going to use? That's the first question. So you could just type right in the chat box or the question box there. I'm very interested in knowing if anyone what your takeaways are from this. And if you have a question, please put that in the box. This is your chance to have me answer your questions, or Robert, by the way. Robert's on as well. We're more than happy to answer any of your questions. I really hope you put some weight in what I just shared with you, because it really does have the ability to do a couple things. Not only change your business, but it will also start making you look like a better consultant in the eyes of the consumers you're going after. And that's also a very, very critical piece. The more knowledgeable you are, the more respect you're going to get from your audience. So any questions? Looks like we got a shy bunch. Okay. So Lou says, just popped in the webinar. Are the salesperson focused on your local areas? Lou, you can hire, if you're talking about the instantsalesarmy.com, those folks you can use in your local area. You can actually get soldiers all over the world. It really doesn't matter, to be honest. So, because these systems are based, I'm not a big software fan, folks. We use software, don't get me wrong, but in terms of marketing, I like software for shortcuts, but I like to use human psychology, and what I teach is human psychology and what we use to market ourselves is human psychology and persuasion and marketing tactics, because that never gets outdated. So Lou, yeah, it works everywhere, and certainly we'd love to have you in the group. Patricia says, I have the product, great information, would like tips on how to approach potential members of your sales army. So I'm going to try to open you up, Patricia. Do you have a microphone? So I've unmuted you, Patricia. Do you have a microphone? You do not have a microphone. Okay. Well, in terms of approaching people for your sales army, you have to identify the person first. So if it's one of the tips in there is to approach an agency. And if it's an agency, a small 1, 2, 3 person ad or marketing firm, I'll just use that as the example. Well, that's really very simple. But it's really the same process for almost all. You have products and services that their clients need. You are willing to do all of the fulfillment, provide them with all of the sales materials, and all they have to do is then mention it to their clients as an add-on service, and you will fulfill and do all the work. There are 9 real areas in there that I identified. It goes for all 9, by the way. Their clients need what you're offering. They are not offering what you're offering. They can use your services either as a foot in the door to offer their services, or as an upsell. We just talked about upsell. Or as an upsell to your services, or just as part of the portfolio of services they offer to a client outsourced to you. So there's a lot of different ways to approach it. And Patricia, I'm sorry you don't have a microphone, because I'd love to answer your question, but if you're in the Implementers program, just schedule a one-on-one, and I'll be happy to even walk through it with you and role play if you like. Any other questions? So I'm going to give everybody a couple seconds just to see if there are any more questions here. Again, folks, this is your opportunity to have me answer these questions live. We do it pretty much every Thursday. And I'll tell you, we've got literally hundreds of new members. Go to localclientformula.com and go to the Hangouts button and look at some of the other Hangouts. There's one in there on persuasion. Robert, do you have the one from last week up yet?
Not yet, but it should be very soon.
Okay, so that one, hopefully, when will that be up so they know?
By tomorrow at the latest, hopefully today.
Okay, so go in there and listen to some of the past Hangouts. I got to tell you that these are like huge tips that really have the opportunity to change your business. And we could charge for these, by the way, but that's not what we're about. We're about wanting to help our members and help our subscribers, and show you real world tactics that are working, and that you don't have to buy WSO or do anything for. And it's not rehash garbage. It's information that we use. So I'm going to give it another second or two here. I'm not seeing any other questions, but if you got one, type fast because we're happy to answer them. And someone just chatted that they don't know about the what's the link. Robert, can you type in the link for the Instant Sales Army?
Sure, one
And I'll
moment.
try to go back to that screen. I mean, I hate to even talk more about it, but if it's right for you, certainly we want you to invest. If it's not right for you, that's okay. So I'm not seeing any other questions. I wish everyone much success. I hope you all learned something, but much more importantly than you learning something, I really hope that you implement what you learned here, because this really has the opportunity to help you a great deal in your business. And so with that, we'll end this webinar. And I wish you all very, very, what should we call this, Robert? Should we call this a webinar?
I like Hangout.
Huh?
I like